In between the lines of all his demanding trash talk over the years, all Nate Diaz has really ever asked for are big fights and the money to go along with them. He's deserved both for a long time. Until Saturday, however, he was one of the relatively worst paid elite fighters in the UFC, despite being a perennially top-ranked guy with a rabid fan base who has pulled in big TV ratings. Saturday's UFC 196 was the first time that Diaz has ever headlined a pay-per-view, however. With just a week of promotion, Diaz and Conor McGregor turned the card into what Dana White says may end up being the biggest selling pay-per-view in the promotion's history. More than sell the fight, of course, Diaz won it, and won it convincingly and quickly. Nate Diaz won in typical Nate Diaz fashion, and he did it with the type of large audience his skills, star power, and accomplishments deserve. Diaz came into the match already one of the most popular fighters in the sport. With the performance he gave on the stage he executed it on, Nate may have exited the octagon as the biggest male name in the UFC. Scores filled the MGM Grand Garden Arena on Saturday, and probably millions more watched from home to see the UFC's poster boy take on and take out the foul-mouthed kid from Stockton. Diaz gave them a show. He was the show, but he also took much more for himself. He took McGregor's momentum, his spotlight, and his stage by force. On a night where possibly more people tuned into a UFC pay-per-view than ever before, Nate Diaz outclassed the man most thought was the best, and outbrassed the man many fans considered the rashest. "There's a new king of this mother, and it's right here," he shouted afterwards, looking into and gesturing at the camera. He's not wrong. Who beats whom when the lights shine the brightest are how victors and stars are determined in the fight world. In December, Diaz complained that McGregor had, quote, taken everything I worked for. And Saturday, Diaz stole McGregor's shine, and he did it with his fighting, the way it should be done. Diaz has helped make the UFC millions for years. Recently, he was making just $20,000 to show for fights. On Saturday, the new king made $500,000 to show. It's a start.